Alright guys, welcome back to the Alan Wake story breakdown series. This is episode 2. Um, I will say I had footage for like the middle part of this video, and that's all gone. The footage got corrupted. I don't know what the fuck's going on with my PlayStation lately, but so the background gameplay isn't going to matter as much for a big chunk of the video. I apologize for that. And then this is probably going to be significantly longer than the last episode. Just because this script seems to be triple the length of episode 1. But we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's get into it. So episode 2 begins with a flashback in New York, 3 years ago. Alan enters his apartment with groceries. Alice greets him. You turn on the coffee machine, you look out the window and see a blizzard happening. Alice made some cover mock-ups for your book. Alan goes into his office and takes a look at them, and he likes them. Then the power goes out. Alice is yelling. She's scared. She says to go check the fuse box in the hallway. Before that, though, you pick up 2 manuscript pages right next to the cover mock-ups. These pages talk about a man dying in the snow and seeing his wife and baby as his life fades. We head to the hall and get a flashlight, as it's a power outage and there's nothing we can do to fix it. You go to Alice and you have the idea to break out the candles. You and Alice share a sweet moment on the couch with the candlelit lighting, and Alan shares how as a child he was terrified of the dark, just like Alice, and they share sweet words and a kiss. Now we fade to present day and bright falls, with a flashlight shining in our eyes as the doctor asks how we are. We get a flash of everything that has happened so far and lie to him, because he would send us to a psychiatrist. The doctor says to take it easy and the sheriff will help him find Alice. As you leave the room, you see a fish on the table, and the doctor talked to the doctor. He mentions how he took a break from fishing to check on you. As you're walking through the halls of the police station, you find missing posters all over the walls. You find another manuscript talking about Alice finding a shadow behind the cabin, and then it vanished, revealing bushes that looked human-shaped. You examine the police radio, and they are investigating Stuckey's gas station, and they can't find him anywhere still. You enter Sheriff Breaker's office. Inside you get a phone call. Or you get your phone back, sorry. You ask if they started looking for Alice. The sheriff says yes and asks what happened. But Alan keeps everything to himself so she doesn't lock him up. You get a phone call from Alice, and then a man takes the phone from her and says to stop talking to the police and head to Lover's Point in the forest. At midnight. And to head to the back lot of the police station so he can show you he means business. On your way, you head through the cell corridor, and a man is drunk and asks you to turn on the light. He thanks you and has a drunk rant and says there was an alien that looked like a man named Danny. In the back lot, you find a radio talking about the long night for the sheriff's station. Near the car the man on the phone said to go to, you find a manuscript talking about Alan meeting the kidnapper who has Alice. You examine the car, and Alice's driver's license is on the front seat. Barry calls you and says he's in town, and you tell him to meet you at the sheriff's station. On the way out of the station, we find a manuscript in a jail cell. This one talks about a dark figure, possibly a Taken, in a dark corner of the diner. As we continue down the hall, Alan appears on the TV, ranting about saving Alice if he writes the story a certain way. Near the front door, you ask the sheriff to leave, and she asks where you're staying. And Dr. Emil Harton is there, inviting you to his lake lodge, and reveals him and Alice set up for you to meet him. Alan punches him in the face, and the doctor says the offer still stands. Barry then arrives, taking you out of the station as everyone is trying to figure out what just happened. Alan told Barry everything, but all he cared about was trying to get money from Alan's manuscript, and he believed that Alice was in fact kidnapped. You head to the national park to talk to Rusty. As you explore the visitor center, Barry calls you crazy. You find Rusty on the balcony, and he's fixing up a hurt dog that got caught in a trap. He asks you to get the registration paper for the cabin off the front desk. You sign the form and give it to Rusty. He hands you the keys and tells you where Lover's Peak is. He also says there's plenty of campers he hasn't heard from and to watch out for traps. You head to the car, and then you are in the cabin with Barry, still talking about going to the police, and he expresses worry about your head not being right. Barry seems to be getting sick as well, sneezing everywhere. You begin your journey to Lover's Peak alone, leaving Barry in the cabin. You come across the car you arrived in the building in front. There's another manuscript inside detailing how Barry thinks Alan is losing it. You come across a cabin with a radio in it. It talks about the upcoming Deer Fest. Alan feels a rumble and a light goes out as he's walking down the street. Alan breaks into another cabin. It's wrecked inside, but there's a TV playing a Night Springs episode. As you head down the trail, you find a gazebo with a manuscript talking about Rusty being in love with Rose and how she's so nice to him. You then find another page in an abandoned car further down the road, and it details Rusty dying and telling Alan that it happened just as the page he found said. You get another flash of Alice, and then you hear screams and gunshots from the visitor center. Then all the lights turn off. Rusty's at the visitor center screaming. Alan runs to him. You arrive to find the visitor center completely destroyed. You find another page detailing the attack on the center. You enter the center to find blood everywhere, and Rusty's dying. It says we need to turn the lights on, and it was exactly as the page earlier said, just like everything happened exactly as the page we found earlier said. You enter the ranger station with keys given to you by Rusty. You find another page inside detailing Alan finding a safe haven in the light while being attacked with an axe. You find an axe in the circuit breaker, meaning there's no way to turn the power back on. And you hear Rusty scream more. As you head back to Rusty, you are attacked by Taken. You find that Rusty's gone and there's a massive hole in the wall. You follow and find a corrupted Rusty, and he attacks you. Rusty can teleport just like Carl. Once he's dealt with, you are attacked by more Taken. Once you kill them, you head down the trail the way they came. You get a phone call from Barry saying he's seeing things outside the windows and telling Alan he's not crazy. Then you continue down the path. You find another page detailing Rusty's last thoughts about him and Rose. As you head to Lover's Peak, you are attacked by more Taken. Before you arrive there, you find a picnic area with a page detailing Barry's first meeting with Rose. On the trail, you find another picnic area with an axe inside the phone destroyed, and another page talking about Alan finding the supply chest. As you walk, you find a sign for a bear. Hopefully we don't run into that anytime soon. You are then attacked by more Taken, with Alan barely making it through them. You find another page detailing an agent named Nightingale arriving in Bright Falls looking for Alan. You find a lift and activate it to get across a ravine. Rockslide happens, causing the lift to crash, and on the other side where Alan's attacked by Taken, but saved by a man with flares. You realize this man was on the ferry and is the kidnapper of Alice. You both barely make it to Lover's Peak as you are chased by countless Taken, fending them off with only flares. You guys then do a last stand on Lover's Peak where you fight about half a dozen Taken with super strong ones as well. You guys you then ask the man, "Where's your wife?" and he said he knew you were going to say that, and you are an excellent writer. He then says to give him the whole manuscript or he'll do something bad. You hit him and you both fall. Gun falls, you pick it up, he runs, and you follow. You find another page detailing Alice's fear of the dark. Now we need to head back to Barry to figure out what to do, as the man has vanished. As you make your way through the forest, you are attacked by a dozen Taken, barely defeating them all. You find a shack with a generator, turn it on, making it a safe zone. You take a moment to catch your breath, and in the shack you find another manuscript about Alan hearing a chainsaw as soon as he's out of the woods. Also in the shack we find a new weapon, the hunting rifle. You find a plane wreck that's clearly decades old, but it falls as if new, sending shivers down Alan's neck. You investigate it, finding a supply chest near one of the wings. You then find yourself at a watermill on the river. You head into it, finding another manuscript detailing deputies investigating the logging site that Stuckey destroyed previously. You find another depicting Barry seeing the destruction of the visitor center and Barry being attacked by darkness crows at the cabin. As you get out of the mill, you find graffiti saying the darkness wears her face. You find another page talking about Alan Wake sensing the darkness around him and Taken appearing. You are attacked by more Taken and push some logs down a hill towards you, but you deal with them and keep heading up. You then head into a campground where you are attacked by Taken with a chainsaw. You run past using flares, realizing that the chainsaw one is too strong, while you're being attacked by half a dozen more, and you make it to a light source. Then Barry calls, telling you the crows are all over the porch of the house, and you tell him you're on your way. You then end up in a campground with campers and a truck
You need to find the keys to the garage to get to the truck and head to Barry. You find another page near the restrooms talking about Agent Nightingale pointing a gun at Alan and Alan running. You enter the bathroom and find a key. Then the TV turns on with Alan ranting more about needing to write a logic that fits the story. You then enter the car. As you drive, there are plenty of Taken everywhere, but you find a page detailing Alan's need to get Alice back. You drive past the visitor center, but end up seeing that the road is blocked, so Alan gets out of the car to run back to the cabin. The kidnapper calls as you're running to the cabin. Oh, sorry.
You son of a bitch! Where's my wife?
Sorry, hold on. I just lost my spot.
You deliver the manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as
Sorry.
I don't. Listen. I'm gonna need time to finish.
I'm so sorry.
I still need to
The kidnapper calls as you're running back to the cabin, and he wants the manuscript to give you Alice, and tells you to meet him at the old mine in 2 days at noon. You make it back to the cabin to find hundreds of birds overhead. You fire half a dozen arrows into the birds, killing some and making the rest leave. Barry then lets you in the cabin. You send Barry into town the next morning to try and find the kidnapper's identity out. Alan tries to write the manuscript for the kidnapper but can't come up with anything, even though this paranormal experience is happening to him. Barry gets a call from Rose saying she's found some pages they need and to come get them from her home in the trailer park, but she doesn't sound right on the phone. And sure enough, that same weird lady from the diner that gave us the keys to the cabin on the lake that doesn't exist was controlling Rose on the phone, and this ends episode 2. I read through that script a lot faster than I would. At the beginning I said I thought it was going to take longer. I really did. Yeah, that script is like double the size at least of the first script, but I got through it about the same. Yeah, so that was episode 2. Again, let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel about these videos. This is a new format for me, as I said last episode, and I'm trying. And this is taking a good amount of work. That was about 3 hours of gameplay, and I summarized it in about 11 minutes. And I tried keeping mainly the story stuff as the main focus, but let me know what you guys think. And also let me know what games you want me to do this kind of story breakdown thing too. But with that being said, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys very soon in the next Alan Wake story breakdown video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you guys want to see on the channel in the future, and stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.